Welcome to the Early Wedge Tuesday Best Bet Show. I am your host, Eric Cohen. All right, I know we have 3 shows left, and I can't believe we're on episode 24 this year, which is wild. But can you believe that Cam Young actually won a PGA Tour event? I mean, the no bet list had been doing pretty good, guys, until last week. And yeah, but Patrick, I want to say this before we introduce everybody. If I had pushed my trend out another week, Cam Young would have fit. It would have added about 10 more players, and I had 2 top 10s in the 5 events before Cam Young would have fit. So it was close.
It wasn't the trend, though, EC.
It's not the trend.
Guys,
always glad to be here. Sia Nejad, host of The Early Edge, joins us in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom right-hand corner of my screen from CBS Sports, the great Patrick McDonald, and live from Memphis, Tennessee, where he will be attending the FedEx St. Jude Championship this week, the one, the only, Jason Sobel. Sobel, we'll start with you. What are you doing up there this week, and how do you like it thus far?
Doing very little. It was fantastic today. I had barbecue on the range. It was one of the best Tuesdays on a range that you'll have on the PGA Tour season all year because there was really good food there from Rendezvous Barbecue here in Memphis. And other than that, just hanging out. I don't think I reported this news because it was probably out there somewhere, but the only newsworthy thing I saw today was Colin Morikawa on the range with a new caddy, Mark Urbanek, who was previously on the bag of Tony Finau. So other than that, I saw very little and gleaned very little from what I saw. I'll speak with a lot of players tomorrow, and that's about it.
Boy, Colin just can't keep it straight with the caddies. Patrick, now that Colin's onto his 5th caddy, I think Sobel put in his tweet this year, are we liking him more, or is he still a good bet on the do not bet list?
Oh, he's so live now. This changes everything. You see, changes everything. Throw away all these strokes gain data from his trip overseas where he went back-to-back missed cuts. No, I think Colin generally is a pretty good course fit for TPC Southwind. I'm willing to throw out what happened at the Scottish Open and the Open, but a little concerning that the driver and ball striking kind of dipped as of late. So would like to see that come back to life a little bit.
See, I think I saw it online or when you and M Squared were doing the DFS show that you're warming up to a 70 or 69 player event. Is this actually true?
Well, it is, but I'm warming up to it in the context of like, I know I have to settle for this. I would much prefer a no-cut event, a full field, some of the lesser named players in the event. But I think this is fun. I mean, we'll get into the storylines in a second, but there's a very particular reason I think this is a fun event, both from a DFS and a betting standpoint. Again, we'll get into it later. I do want to, first of all, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, which is not normal, but Jason is wearing this very nice sweater, and people are commenting on it. And Joe Neuenfeld says, Sobel looks like a hitman who's just shown up to kill me. And I just think that's hilarious. That's all I have to say.
For the record, this is a very thin hoodie. It's like 100 degrees in Memphis. It was cool in the room. I might have just taken a nap between the time I got back from TPC Southwind and we started the show. So I had turned down in here. So I threw a little, like, very, very light hoodie, not a sweater.
I thought you were rocking cashmere in Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wears a hoodie at 100 degrees, Sobel? What's going on?
It's a hotel room. I get it.
We need to hit some more Jackson Coven ladders to buy some cashmere, I think.
And speaking of, congratulations. Last week we had a pretty good show here. I hit Matt Fitzpatrick, Ben Griffin, top 20 plus 400. You hit Coven, top 20 at plus 330. Sia, Chris Kirk, top 20. And Patrick, Joel Damon, top 40. All 4 of us got in the mix here last week, cashing, and we made some money on last week's show. Can we do it again? We'll find out. But first, let's start with storylines. And of course, it's the time for the storyline segment sponsored by 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor, inspired by golf's unofficial cocktail. It has hints of grape, lime, and ginger. No alcohol needed. Head to your local retailer or 5hourenergy.com to order yours today. All right, Patrick, we're going to start with you. We're down to 69 players this week. Next week, it'll be 50, assuming Rory shows up. We'll find out about that. What is your storyline this week?
Yeah, I think this is probably the most intriguing event of the postseason just because you have the BMW Championship cut off, the top 50, of course. They get in next week at Caves Valley and next year into the signature events as well. But you look at that bubble and then you look at the Ryder Cup bubble, and there's so many guys who have so much to play for over these next 12 rounds. You think Spieth trying to get or maintain his spot inside the top 50. You have guys like Sam Burns, Chris Goddard, Cam Young, trying to make a push for that Ryder Cup team. Keegan Bradley, what is going on with him regarding the playing captaincy. It seems like he won the Travelers Championship. Everyone was locked in on. You happen to go across the pond and you have Scottish Open, Chris Gotterup wins, Cam Young wins, Keegan Bradley's form kind of takes a dip over the last month. You're like, oh, what's going on here? And so I think a lot of questions are going to be answered over these next 3 weeks, and I can't wait to find out.
Sia, on to you here. Your storyline. What do you think? You, Sobel, and me kind of have the same type of storyline. So I'm just going in a random order. You're going to start here with Scotty's here, so it's the without time, right?
Yeah, I mean, just pretend Scotty's not in the tournament from a betting standpoint. That's what I've been doing for quite some time. And, some of those tournaments I'm not winning, and some of them I am getting that second place cash. Like I'm recalling the Harris English split with Bryson and company. But again, I think this is a pretty good betting opportunity and DFS opportunity because Scotty Scheffler is probably your winner of this tournament, but we don't have Rory. So if you bet in the without Scotty Scheffler market and you don't have to contend with Rory, I do think it opens it up for a lot of people to win this tournament. I don't think it's just, Xander and the next 5 guys that can win. I think at this event, we're looking at guys down the board, which we'll talk about later. But again, I just think from a betting and DFS standpoint, it does give us an opportunity to kind of box out Scotty Scheffler and not have to worry about Rory McIlroy.
All right, Sobel, piggyback on that. Same thing. We don't have Scotty. We're taking out Scotty. We don't have Rory. Think about the without market this week. JT's in there, Xander's in there, and of course, Tommy Fleetwood is in there. What is the point of putting Tommy Fleetwood in the without market?
Yeah, you might as well have me and you, EC.
Yeah, exactly.
We've won just as much on the PGA Tour as Tommy Fleetwood. Look, some people, as you watch this show, some people on this panel are smarter than me and will bet the without market with their favorite plays this week. I'm not. I'm just trying to avoid Scotty Scheffler. It was nice while we had it for a couple of weeks, full field events with no Scotty, and you actually had some winners with some value on there. I don't know if we're going to get that. Like Sia said, this is a very good course for Scotty Scheffler. Look, this is a place that maybe as much, if not more so, than any other golf course on the PGA Tour plays into the hands of the best ball strikers. Who's a good ball striker? I don't know, Scotty Scheffler. He seems like he's a pretty good ball striker. So I will not, in my picks on this show, be in the without market, but it's a very smart idea to do that. And then my non-betting storyline, and I know who just talked about Joseph Boza in the chat, talked about some players not happy about Rory not being here. It feels like, and I've been covering the PGA Tour for a long time, over the last 20 years of the FedEx Cup, every time they sort of plug a hole in the dam and try to fix something with what's going on wrong with the FedEx Cup, they spring another leak. And what I'm talking about here is 3 months ago, the PGA Tour decided we're going to get rid of the staggered scoring start for the Tour Championship. And we're just going to make it a 72-hole stroke play event where the winner takes all. And it's like, great idea. Everyone likes it. Everyone celebrates. Cool. They righted a wrong that they had done for 6 years. Well, what's the byproduct of it? Rory McIlroy is like, I don't see any reason to show up in Memphis this week because it doesn't behoove me at all. He's going to be in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. If he wants to, he doesn't have to play next week either. And all of a sudden, you've got yourself a whole other problem with guys not having to show up. I think it's a really bad precedent. I don't blame Rory. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. There you go. Took me a second there. That said, it's a precedent that you're not going to want to see. But next week, if 10 guys decide I'm already in the Tour Championship, I might as well take a week off and not play the BMW, they can certainly do it.
Sobel, I think the Tour Championship format this year is about as dumb as it gets. Not saying it was better before, but, we talked about it earlier this season. Why aren't we doing a match play? I know that was considered. What's your ultimate solution to how to fix the Rory problem and the Tour Championship problem?
Here's the problem with all of it is that you're trying to serve too many different masters, and there's no perfect solution because the perfect solution for one faction is imperfect for the others. What I mean by that is, we as fans of the game, we're like, well, they should do the best thing for us. They should make the most entertaining product for us because we're the fans and we matter the most. You'd like to think that, but they want to appease the players and give the players the best finish to reward the guy who played the best. But they also want to have the best product for the TV rights holders, and they want to appease the sponsors out there. You're trying to serve all these different facets, and not one solution serves them all, which is why they haven't found a perfect solution to any of this, perfect formula in all these years. And I'm not sure if they ever will. So I understand the issue. Like, I get it. I get it in the fact that the PGA Tour is like, we're trying to like beg, borrow, and deal from each of these places, and we can't do it, and we can't find the right thing. But this feels like a fix that has too many holes in it. Like I said, we'll see next week. If guys decide to skip the BMW next week, there's a serious problem. Something's wrong.
Patrick, if you were in charge here, PGA Commissioner Patrick McDonald, what are you doing to fix this?
Okay, first, I think this is probably only going to be a 1-year thing with what's going on with the Tour Championship. I would make the playoffs like Tour de France, pretty much, where it's going to be cumulative throughout the 3 tournaments, and you have stage winners after all 3. So that's what I would do. And so if Rory McIlroy skips this week, guess what? He gets 4 80s on his scorecard or something like that. And going into the BMW Championship, he's 40 over. He has no chance to win it, so you can't skip it then. So that's what I would do. I'd make it 3 stages and cumulative throughout.
Sia, what would you do?
I would do whatever Patrick says. I actually think that's a great idea. The one thing I thought of some time ago was making this actually wouldn't fix the Rory problem now that I think about it. I'm not a big match play guy like everybody else is, but I thought like for the Tour Championship, that could be a pretty good idea, maybe with a consolation bracket too, so that there's not just like a couple people playing down the stretch. But I like Patrick's idea, a point system, and have it kind of cumulative over the 3 tournaments.
My idea.
I'll throw in here. Here's just a small issue with that. And Memphis can play tough sometimes. Let's say the wind blows here at TPC Southwind and you get tough conditions. Then Caves Valley, last time we were there, I think it was like 28 under 1. So there's going to be a disproportionate cumulative score for these 2 events leading into the Tour Championship. Is that okay?
You could scale it for the first 2 tournaments. You could like have it on a curve so that it's adjusted.
You also need to move the events. I think.
Obviously.
But that goes back to too many Masters.
Yes. My idea, top 32 make it to the champion or to East Lake or wherever you want to play the championship. 16 play on Thursday, 16 play on Friday, and do something Saturday, Sunday, or you do something, like quarterfinals, semifinals Saturday, and finals in third place, something like that on Sunday. Have a little fun with it, so that way it's not just, everybody's out, half the field's down by Friday. You have 16 golfers. I mean, we would all tune in Thursday and Friday to watch those matchups. It's not a perfect system, but bring back match play because I love match play. No, Sobel, what do you give me in that look?
Nobody. Everyone says they love match play. You love match play at the beginning of it. By the end of it, you're like, I don't love match play anymore.
It's there's like 8 guys left on Saturday afternoon.
It was great.
Matt Fraserman against Patrick Rogers on Sunday afternoon for 4 hours at East Lake. You're not watching that, East Lake.
All right, fine, and I understand that. I will say this, though. I went to the match play when it was at Dove Valley in 2014, and I went on Saturday when there were 8 left. I think, Spieth was one of them. It was the Jason Day, Victor Dubuisson. And I thought it was great. You were able to walk around at the event, and the matches were compelling.
That's great.
And I would have watched it on TV. I love that. No?
That's not great for TV.
What about the next day?
Okay, well, it was a compelling final match, but yeah, nobody had heard of Victor Dubuisson, and we've never heard from him since. There's got to be something that's I don't know what
I think he just won.
He did. He won, and he gave up the prize money, so they didn't want it.
What a guy!
Oh. Yeah. I'll give my storyline the same thing as Sobel and Sia. You got to play the without market this week. The without markets are your friend, but not just the without Scotty Scheffler market. If you can take out Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, and maybe Tommy Fleetwood, just in case this is maybe the week. Listen, it happened for Cam Young last week. Why not this week? I think Mitchell Smith said it in the chat. The floodgates might have opened for first-time winners, and therefore my do not bet list may be in trouble this week. With that said, the price difference is not going to be that much the without Scotty versus the without the other 3 guys. Take them all out, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. All right. This was the Storyline segment sponsored by 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor with as much caffeine as a premium cup of coffee with 0 sugar in a compact bottle. 5 Hour Energy is ready when and where you are, whether that be on the green or in the rough. So grab your crew, get your energy, and tee off with 5 Hour Energy's new transfusion flavor, available in stores or online at 5hourenergy.com. And to those of you in the chat who are asking when I'm going to chug a 5-Hour Energy on the show, fortunately, Ben Coles was not the FRL last week, so I didn't have to do that for you, Patrick. At some point during the final 3 shows, I will down this bottle.
9
All right,
cuts away from
you were so close. Blank.
I think his face up there. That looks so good.
Was I frozen or EC?
No, it was EC, I think. Although you were sitting so still, it was hard to tell.
My internet today is having a day. All right, it's time for FRLs. Let's get to it. Patrick, you left it blank today. Yeah. Ben Coles embarrassed you so much last week. Didn't get it done. All right, Sobel, start us off with your 2-pack.
Yeah, so look, I want volatility in my FRL plays. If you finish in second, that doesn't cash tickets. Justin Thomas has either been really good or really bad on Thursdays. That's okay. I'll take a chance on really good happening at a golf course where he's played well in the past. 6 scores of 67 or better in his opening rounds this season, but he's also got a 76. He's got a 78. He's got an 80. I mean, it could be ugly on Thursday, but I'm willing to take a chance at 30-1 on Justin Thomas for a first-round leader play. And then Harry Hall, you go back and look at Harry Hall over the last, I believe it's 11 starts that he's made. He's posted sub-70 scores in the opening round in 10 of those, playing some very good golf right now. And again, I like taking good putters, whether it's a Sam Burns, a Denny McCarthy. But if you're taking a guy for a single-round investment, give me a guy that can roll in 4 20-footers without blinking an eye. And Harry Hall's leading the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting right now.
So Reno in the chat says, time to start taking winners from the do not bet list. Well, when I look at Sia's FRL list, the top 3 happen to be all members of the do not bet list. Sia, do tell.
Spoiler alert, these guys in some way are going to be on the outright card too. And I do say in some way because there's some caveats there. And there's going to be the ability on my outright card to maybe scoop and hit a couple of winners. Again, find out later in the show. For the person asked, PS36 says, has anybody ever hit a without Scheffler market bet ever? I think maybe multiple on this show this year. I know I hit Harris English. It was 110-1. It was split 4 ways with Bryson, who I also had in the without market that tournament. So yeah, those get hit.
I had
more
Ben
often.
Griffin.
Yeah,
I had Ben Griffin,
couple.
but
right.
Yeah, with one. So I mean, it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens more than you think. Apparently, here we go. But yeah, my first round leaders. We're going to go with the guys that I like for this tournament. I mean, I like Tommy Fleetwood. I like Victor Hovland. I like Sam Burns. I'm not usually on Tommy Fleetwood, but very happy to take him here. I just love what he's doing with the ball striking. I really like his course history here as well. We'll get a little bit more into that later as with Victor Hovland and Sam Burns. I mean, Hovland and Sam Burns, the ball striking, when it's there, they can just absolutely light it up. We'll get into why I like both of them in the outright market later as well. And then Chris Kirk has certainly been a first-round leader here before. It was last year. He tends to flash early and kind of struggle late. So 30-1, 35-1, 40-1, and then 60-1 sprinkle. Those are my 4 first-round leaders.
Sobel, what's the weather looking like in Memphis since you're out there?
It's hot.
It's going to rain.
That's a wrap.
Patrick got the reference. It's still bring a Seinfeld reference, but he got the Family Guy reference. That's all right.
Sia, do you think Patrick has ever heard the song "Walkin' in Memphis"?
Definitely. He's definitely heard that song.
Johnny Cash?
No.
I think
got it, though.
You've heard it because they play it. Yeah, they play it during the Kona break for this tournament every single year.
Do they really?
Oh, that's not.
That's Walking on Sunshine.
Gonna feel good.
I'm guessing they play during the broadcast Walking in Memphis at least 8 times, over under 7.5 times between the Golf Channel and NBC broadcast.
Sure we'll see if Patrick's paying attention, and we'll see if Sia comes up with a new Twitter poll this week.
That was
involving Walking in. I'm so disappointed.
Guess. Mark Cohen.
Coming up next, let's go around the world. Literally and figuratively, well, I guess just figuratively, when it comes to our picks after we hear from one of our sponsors.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
He's got his receiver touchdown.
Filled with rematches.
Oh, the play of the year.
And rivalries.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Plus, plenty of superstar showdowns and an epic matchup between the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Clear your Sundays beginning September 7th for the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We're going with a different order than usual in this segment. Sia, we're going to start with you. You have a round one play, so why don't we start there?
Yeah, I'm all about fading Tony Finau. I mean, this show as a whole, I don't think has really been supporting Tony Finau, and the metrics sort of back that up. So, although I didn't look, maybe somebody's on Tony Finau today. No, it doesn't look like it. The ball striking isn't there. The putter's actually been pretty good for Tony Finau, but the ball striking really isn't there. I like Chris Kirk here. I think he's a good course fit. We've seen him. His finishing positions, by the way, have not been very good here, but he has started off rounds pretty well. And we saw that last week where he started off well and then just kind of slowly faded just a bit as the rounds transpired. But again, from a ball striking standpoint, I like Chris Kirk over Tony Finau in any round, including round one. And then we'll go to my matchup. I don't trust Justin Thomas. I get why you would take his spike potential as a first-round leader. I completely get that. But I like Russell Henley over 4 rounds. We got guaranteed 4 rounds, no cut event. Russell Henley's not a guy I usually take, but he's a perfect guy to find in a matchup against a guy who's going to likely be volatile, specifically off the tee. So Henley minus 135 over Justin Thomas is a pretty easy click for me.
I am big on Russell Henley this week. I know that's a Patrick McDonald favorite. We will talk more Russ Bus as the show goes along. 4 straight top 10, Sia, as he enters.
Yeah.
So Patrick, you and Sobel have the same play. So go ahead, Sobel. You want to say something first?
I was just going to go back to it. I like Henley as well. I think we all kind of like Henley in different ways this week. You mentioned fading Tony Finau, and I think we're all on board with that. Sia, at some point, with Tony Finau in some books at 170 to 1 in a 69-man field, you almost have to like sprinkle it a little bit this week just because like he's going to like he's still Tony Finau. I mean, I get it. He's not playing well. Like there's a lot of things wrong right now, but 170 to 1 in a short field.
Wow.
Save your money. I will say, if I'm going to play long distance odds, you have something in the long shot section, Sobel, that I think is a much better bet at a similar price. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
and it's not what's her name, Laddie. What was her name? Wode.
Laddie Wode is like an up and coming.
Laddie,
you gotta know the name.
Lassie
Larry
Wood.
Ward.
Yeah, I actually bet her. I actually followed your bet, Sobel, last week. She did get a top 10, so that was good. All right, Patrick, you're going with your namesake, a guy that is on the do not bet list, who I will not bet the rest of the year. I don't care if he wins this week and embarrasses me. This guy stinks as far as I'm concerned. He burns money. Patrick Cantlay over Ludwig Oberg.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about Patrick Cantlay on the streets, and I don't appreciate it. Us Patricks have to stick together. This guy is playing much better PGA Tour, mind you, PGA Tour golf than everyone else thinks, right? This guy is a lock to finish inside the top 12 in a signature event or a limited field like we have this week. Over the last 6 months, top 10 in terms of total strokes gained, top 5 iron player. He's a guy who lost in the playoff to Lucas Glover a couple years ago, T12 last year also. Ludwig played great overseas. I'm going to need to see it over here first before I trust him a little bit more. This is a course that I think could take the driver out of your hand a little bit, and that is obviously his best weapon. So I'm going with Cantlay minus 105 over Ludwig.
All right, Sobel, piggyback on that.
So riddle be this one, guys. Tommy Fleetwood is a player who has not contended in a major championship for a while, who has stats through the roof, and we all know he's a great ball striker, but doesn't win golf tournaments. And we still go, man, Tommy's so good. Just he doesn't win, but man, is he good. Patrick Cantlay is a guy who hasn't contended in a major in a while, and his ball striking numbers are through the roof, and he just doesn't win golf tournaments. And we're like, that Cantlay guy, he's terrible. They're the same player right now. They're both really good tee to green. They both come up short when they need to, but the talent level is certainly there. I like Cantlay a lot this week. He was 12th last year. He was runner-up the year before, lost in the playoff to Lucas Glover. This is a good place for him. And like Patrick said, other than the major championships, the numbers are great this year. He just hasn't won. The results aren't great. The numbers, though, the stats, the analytics, the data are all really good. And then Sia was all over Emiliano Grillo last week. It was kind of not exactly what you would have liked from him. I actually think this is a better fit, this golf course for him. All he's got to do is beat Nico Echeverria, who is got to be still licking his wounds from Sunday. That was an Akshay Bhatia-like finish for him from the week before at the 3M Open. And Jonathan Vegas, who doesn't really pop for me on this golf course either, plus 150. Good number on Grillo there.
Yeah. Nico, that was the most pathetic back nine I might have seen on the PGA Tour all year.
Brutal.
No, I mean, he gained a stroke on Cam Young on the first hole. Then Cam Young starts making putts. And then Nico didn't even finish. What, he finished like 19th or something? I mean, he shot like 41 on the back. What are you doing, Nico?
Was Akshay in the final pairing in Minnesota? I think.
I can't remember about that.
If so,
it wasn't that bad.
If so, let's say he was. Let's say he was final pairing. He was either final pairing or second to last pairing. That's now Nico Echeverria last week, Akshay the week before, Davis Thompson a few weeks before that. Guys who are in the final pairing and like didn't finish anywhere close to the top 10 by the time it was over.
So we have a betting tip. If somebody's in the Scotty Scheffler final pairing this week, you know what to do. My matchup play is the top Asian market. Hideki Matsuyama, last year's winner, at plus 160 over Siwoo Kim, Sungjae Im, and Kevin Yu. So Siwoo has missed 3 straight cuts and has lost strokes putting to the field in 8 straight tournaments. That's horrendous. Sungjae has been particularly awful on approach. Hasn't gained more than a stroke in that category since early March, guys. In fact, he's only been positive with his irons in 2 of his last 17 events compared to the field. He's a fade. Kevin Yu hasn't made a cut in his last 3 tournaments. And he's brand new to TPC Southwind. So by virtue of that,
by virtue of what?
Isn't perfect.
By virtue of what?
Left us hanging.
What a cliffhanger. This guy knows how to produce a show.
You see, what was it by virtue of?
Who knows what I was saying. Regardless, by virtue of all the other 3 guys not being well, go with Hideki Matsuyama, plus 160. Last year's champion, I'm getting it plus money against these 3 weaklings. Is this a trap line?
I can't take that bet because I don't know what it was by virtue of.
Yeah.
Because the other 3 stink. And so I'm by virtue of that, I'm taking Hideki.
Okay.
I would like to point out, I spoke with very few players. I did very little work at TPC Southwind today. I'll readily admit it. I saw Siwoo Kim. I just wanted to point out, maybe he can't putt, but Siwoo Kim's maybe the nicest guy out there. He just came up to me on the range. Hey, what's going on, man? I don't even know him that well. I just stood there and talked to me for 5 minutes. Good dude.
All right.
Cool.
So if you want to fade my pick, bet Siwoo Kim because he talked to Sobel, which, I mean, we know that. We know you have rules about that. I'm good with that. Let's go to finishing positions here. This is a very, very interesting list with a lot of interesting players. Patrick, we're going to start with you, and a guy that, I mean, his ball striking numbers were really, really good last week, but he can't putt. Aaron Rai.
Yeah, that's perfect for this golf course. Exactly what you want. You're going to hit a bunch of fairways. You're going to hit a bunch of greens, tough greens to hit. There's a ton of water around here. He's not going to make a big number. And you're giving me top 20 in a 69-man field at plus 115. He's outside the top 50 right now, so obviously needs a good result. Finished inside the top 5 last week at the Wyndham Championship. Finished inside the top 20 in this tournament last year as well. And although I do not have a long shot bet, I'm going to live add one regarding Aaron Wright later in the show. Later in the show, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
The oohs are warranted for this one.
All right. Sia, we're going to start with you on this. A couple of players that you know I can't bet, but let's hear what you got.
I really like Hovland and Fleetwood in this tournament. I say that sometimes about Hovland. I almost never say that about Tommy Fleetwood. I'll point out that last year at the FedEx St. Jude, Hovland led the field ball striking. He was 4th tee to green. Like, I just think when he loses around the green here, the last 3 years at TPC South, and when he loses marginally. And to the extent that matters, his ball striking just picks up the slack in such a big way. And I think the putter is going to be fine. In fact, he's gained with the putter each of the last 3 years here at TPC Southwind. So I like Hovland to maybe win this tournament, but I think top 10 at this number, plus 240, that's including ties. Really like that number. And then Tommy Fleetwood, another guy who's such a good ball striker here. What's so interesting, last year he led the field tee to green, and he lost almost 8 strokes putting. It's absolutely crazy. And if you're like, oh, well, maybe he doesn't like putting here. And by the way, these are new greens. Let's see how that works out. He gained 5.5 strokes putting the year before at the FedEx St. Jude, leading himself to a T3. So I think The putting surfaces are probably just going to be fine for him, but he has been excellent tee to green, excellent with the ball striking, and he's been that this year as well. So I like both of those guys to potentially top 10. Really only have to catch one of these to make a decent amount of money.
All right. I can respect it as long as they don't win. Then we're good with that. We got to keep the list. Regardless. We'll see your picks in the next segment. Sobel, I really, really like your Russ Henley top 10 play. He has 4 straight, but you're parlaying it with the aforementioned Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, floor guys. Look, I don't bet either of these two guys to win very often, if at all. I've learned my lesson on both of those, but they show up week in, week out. They each have a top 10 here over the last 2 years, and I think they should both be right up there on the first page of the leaderboard again. Unsexy plays for plus 175 and plus 200 respectively, but you put them together, it gets a little sexier at a little more than 7-1. So that's what I'm going to do with them this week. And then Chris Kirk. I think if I asked most people, most golf fans, you're sitting in the 19th hole, Chris Kirk, over under 5.5 career PGA Tour victories. Most people will take the under. He's got 6 wins. And so what that tells us is that when he's playing well, he tends to play really well. He was the lone player to get into the top 70, who was outside of it to start Wyndham last week, finishing a share of 5th place. I think he can go step on the gas pedal. As Sia mentioned earlier, he was the first-round leader last year. The results are not great here over the last few years, but he does have 4 rounds of 67 or better in his last 8, and so he can go low. Top 20 here is only top 29% in the field. It's not like he's got to go out there and beat 136 other guys.
I am very grateful to Chris Kirk for winning at PGA National the other year. I did have that. That was excellent. And then he won the Century, I believe, in 2024. And I had Colin Morikawa, who I think yet again finished second at that event. No more Colin. All right, I'm going Matt Fitzpatrick, top 10, plus 200. Listen, this guy's finishes in the top 10 4 tournaments in a row. What are we missing here? Last week, he did nothing through 2 rounds, ended up T8 in Greensboro. His approach numbers, not that great. He's only up, 1.3 strokes on the field. But that putter was awesome, gained nearly 6. He has 3 top 6s in 6 starts at TPC Southwind. Sign me up. And then the horse for the course. We waited 32 minutes to mention the great Daniel Berger at 3-1 for a top 10. Listen to this line here in 5 starts, albeit they were a while ago. 1-1, missed cut, T2, T5. That's 2 wins and 4 top 5s in 5 starts. I don't care if it was 20 years ago. I'm going to bet it. And it was only like less than 10 years ago. So I'm going to bet it.
Patrick, what do you have to say?
That's he's got the trends out tonight. They're pretty hard to argue against. Matt Fitzpatrick, 4 top 10s in a row. Naturally going to be a 5th. And then course history. I love it, EC, but are you a little bit concerned based on that trend line that it's 2 good starts, a miscut, 2 good starts, and then a bad start again? Does that concern you?
It's pattern.
I thought you were going to say something else. I'll move on.
21. We throw that out.
Sorry, you froze out a little bit.
Yes, of course. Since he hasn't played here since 2021, we throw that out.
Okay.
So listen, this guy, even though he's burned money for me earlier this year, I'll admit that, he's gained 29 strokes on approach here lifetime in those 5 events. He's gained on approach in 11 of his last 12 events, though his putter, which is usually the strength of his game, has been pretty bad. So he's sitting at 30th in the current FedEx Cup standings, needs to do something one of the next 2 weeks at least to get to East Lake. My man, Danny Berger, is going to get it done in the top 10 at least. Just wait and see what the next segment brings. Ooh. At least top 10.
Wait, Sia, what did you think I was going to say? Now I'm afraid that I missed a joke. I hate missing jokes.
Well, I was going to point something out, but I've decided not to. Okay. I do want to point something else out. We use the word sexy. Mm-hmm. I've got a finishing position parlay. I'm bringing it back to the show. And it literally, all the names that you just saw on the finishing position screen, it includes every single name except for one Daniel Berger. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Coming up next,
Fitz is on there, though. EC, Fitz is on there.
It's a sad, sad day, Sia. Not only for your Daniel Berger, leaving him off that parlay, but the do not bet list. We'll find out next after we hear from one of our sponsors.
Get ready.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and Knuckles are now streaming on Paramount+.
And everyone loves it.
Every adventure Just try to keep up.
Every face-off.
This ends now.
And every moment that will have you saying,
Where have you been? My entire life!
It's showtime!
all 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and the entire Sonic universe are now streaming on Paramount+.
You know, I'm going to be perfectly honest with everyone out here, since we're all friends. I thought on the do not bet list there would be a lot of names crossed off this year. But the one name I was not concerned about at all was Cameron Young. And not only that, but he won it in such style. Really, Matt, producer Matt, you had to put
Love
that graphic in.
Love that.
Perfect.
Love that.
I think I never thought I would see on this show was a line through Cameron Young's name.
Mm.
And I'm afraid, based on what our experts are picking this week, that
See, now we don't know what he's scoring.
We really hope that Scotty Scheffler gets it done for me this week. All right, let's see.
You see, I feel like, honestly,
Mhm.
you could be in some hot water here.
Scotty Scheffler's going to win. We're good. He's going to win the next 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys,
Maybe.
we've had 23 shows, and I've only had 2 names crossed off. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
Well, yeah, I guess. Some were penciled in, though, i.e. Scotty Scheffler.
Well, no, that was last year, Patrick.
No.
That was 2024.
That was also this year. You were about to pen it in, but
I thought about it, and I refrained. Right. Okay. So, but we're going to start with you for your outrights, because you said earlier in the show that you are not afraid of Scotty Scheffler. You're going for it. What do you got?
I'm a little afraid of him, but I'm still going to bet the full outright market. I was going to take Thigala and Zalatoris off your list, but instead I'll take 3 other guys who have been on the do not bet list all year. I don't know how Sam Burns got himself on the do not bet list. I feel like, EC, this is just something personal that you have against Burns, who's a 5-time PGA Tour winner. Hasn't actually been out there that long. I mean, the winning percentage is decent for how long he's been out there. 40-1 this week. Really good golf course for him. He was 5th here last year. The ball strike numbers are good. Obviously, one of the best putters in the game. And so I like everything about Burns at that number. The last time Cameron Young won before last week was in 2021, May of 2021. He was on the Corn Ferry Tour. You know what he did the next week? He won again. I'm just saying, Lucas Glover did that Greensboro-Memphis double a couple of years ago. If he can do it, Cameron Young can do it. Certainly firing on all cylinders right now. And then Wyndham Clark has been very good. I get that we're still in the mode of, he's smashing signs and he's breaking lockers and he's frustrated. But if you look at what Wyndham Clark's done since then, it's been very, very good. I'm going to have another Wyndham Clark play when we get to our long shots later in the show. But Wyndham Clark at 50-1 makes a ton of sense for me at this tournament.
Hey, Sobel, when's the last time? We know Sam Burns won the last match play in 2023, I believe. Do you know the last regular PGA Tour event that Sam Burns won?
The 2021 Colonial. I don't know. You're about to tell me. So
2020 Valspar.
I think it's 2022 Colonial. He won the Valspar that year, and then he won Colonial right after that. So both of you close. He hasn't won in 3+ years. It's do not bet list worthy.
Since when this is not past performance is not an indicator of future results. Since when do guys haven't won so they can't win and we're not going to bet them? No, the whole point is the guy hasn't won in a while. He's probably due to go get a win.
His number at 40-1 is appropriate, so I'll give you that. All right, Patrick, you're going with your guy here, and you and I see eye to eye, and we saw eye to eye with Ben Griffin earlier this year, and look what happened. We cashed a winner. Tell us about the Rust Bus.
Yeah, we see one eye to one eye here because Russell Henley, he's not finishing second like you think he might. He's finishing first, EC, okay? At 30-1, Russell Henley is going to win this golf tournament. How could he not? He's a perfect course fit. He's probably, I don't know, off the top of my head, the second best player in this field. I'll say it. Russell Henley's the second best player in this field right now. Sobel shaking his head. If you're not watching on YouTube, he's shaking it in a direction. I'll let you use your imagination and choose which direction you believe he is shaking it. But Russell Henley, second best player in this field behind Scotty Scheffler, and you're getting him at 30-1. Are you kidding me? And he's a winner, a proven winner, as we saw at the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yeah.
And then another proven winner, another Bulldog, another guy whose price, I mean, it honestly does make sense. Harris English, 46.5 to 1. You're probably wondering, Patrick, that's a crazy number. Yes, it was on Bookmaker, if I'm being completely transparent. And English coming off that runner-up performance. Here's a trend for you, EC. 12 years ago, Harris English won a golf tournament. Do you know where it was?
I'm going to guess in Memphis.
TPC Southwind, you are correct, and I love that 12-year trend line. Another victory at TPC Southwind.
Hey, I mean, of course, a winner is a winner, but Daniel Berger's won twice there since. Sobel, you were going to say something about Russell Henley being the second best player in the field this week?
No, I'll just let Patrick have that.
Joe Highsmith.
Patrick could be on an island with that one.
Who's the second best player in this field this week?
I believe that would be Xander Schauffele.
Joe Highsmith.
He doesn't have a top 5. He doesn't have a top 5 all year. Just saying.
He's still better. Who's played the best or who's better? I mean,
this
Conley
season
was a better player.
We'll go that.
Colin Morikawa is a better player. He's not showing it. Cantley's a better player than Henley.
Yeah.
Sia, one of the guys that could be in the running for the second best player this week because he's in the without markets is Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah. It is interesting how they they group some of these guys together. Like, I was pretty stunned Justin Thomas was in there. So I'm looking for a scoop here where I can hit 2 of these bets. I will tell everybody I put 0.9 units on this to win 8x on each of the plays. But if I hit both, I win 16x. Couple of things before I get to my plays. A lot of people in the chat liked Harris English, so that's a popular pick just in general. And if I could have added 2 more names to my list, it would have been Cameron Young and it would have been Wyndham Clark. I just wanted to point that out as well. So I really like Jason's card. Again, I've talked about Tommy Fleetwood, what he's done the last couple of years. He had an unfortunate thing go with the putter last year, but he's been an animal ball striking tee to green. And he's actually been good with the putter. At least 2 years ago, he was. Taking him in the without Scotty Scheffler market at 18 to 1. It's not a super fun number, but I think Tommy Fleetwood can win without Scotty. Now I'm going Victor Hovland and Sam Burns at 25 and 28 to 1 in the without Scotty, Xander, Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood market. This is where the scoop comes in because we could have Scotty finish first, Tommy Fleetwood finish second, and then, of course, one of Victor or Sam Burns to finish third or behind one of these other guys in the without market. I can hit both bets. I've already talked about how much I like Victor Hovland, how much of a ball striker he is, first of all, this year, but also at this course. And then Sam Burns, I've been riding him for a while, so I'm just going to keep doing it. I do think he's a good course fit. Absolutely could crush it with the putter. 28 to 1 in this sort of without big four market is a solid enough number for me to take.
All right. I respect that. And I love the fact that you're trying to go for multiple winners.
What?
I love
Why is
that.
Russell Henley not in the big four?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question.
Yeah.
I'd prefer Russell Henley.
Get Tommy out of there.
I'd prefer Henley to be in there. I have Henley over Justin Thomas at minus 135.
That's a good point, Sia.
Yeah. I can't lobby for that.
I would like to see a straight without Fleetwood market.
The odds get higher.
Yeah. The exact same. It's same. So I'm playing without Scheffler, Schauffele, Justin Thomas, and that other guy, Tommy Fleetwood, even though he shouldn't be in their market. Russell Henley, 20 to 1. I mean, he's second best player in the field. We heard that, so we're good with that. Daniel Berger, 30 to 1, probably a little low. But I have another one for you. So I'm going to throw this at you, Sobel. According to Data Golf, Hamilton Golf and Country Club in Canada has one of the highest course similarity scores to TPC Southwind. Who won there the last time they played a golf tournament?
I believe that was Robert McIntyre.
That was Bobby Mack, and his putter is sizzling right now. Gained over 5 strokes last week, and the last 3 times he's Patrick, here's your trend of the week. You ready?
I thought I had the trend of the week.
No, I got you. The last 3 times that Robert McIntyre has finished outside the top 30, the following week he posted a top 10.
Okay, good top 10 bet then.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between that course in Canada last year and this one. You said the word sizzling. By the end of the week, Robert McIntyre is going to be so sunburned he's not going to be able to swing a club. You see how pale that boy is?
Yeah.
You cannot put him out there at 100 degrees for 4 straight days and expect him to.
Hey, I'm pale too, and I go play
sunscreen all over the hands. No way.
Yeah, he's not a spray guy. He's a lather.
No, you got to get the spray. The spray is really that's what saves me.
See? He uses the lotion.
He's a ladder guy.
When you see, Sobel, when you see Bobby Mack on the range tomorrow, let him know the Neutrogena spray is the way to go in hot conditions.
That I will be sure to absolutely say that to him tomorrow.
Yeah, and also let him know congrats on finishing T7 here last year because he's going to do better. He's going to do better this week.
I will say that too. I can't wait. This is going to be the greatest conversation ever.
Bob McIntyre and Jason Sobel, best friends on the range. Let's look at long shots here. This is a crazy mix of long shots. I don't even know where to start. So I guess we're going to go, Patrick, we're going to start with you with a couple of bombs and then a FedEx Cup play.
Then a nuke. Then a nuke.
A nuke, yeah.
Yeah, from the moon. That's topical. Lucas Glover, 90-1. This is the first time he's playing in this event since he won it, I believe. Okay. Might be wrong. Or he had a third place finish after that. I'm getting my years mixed up. But his last two results here are a win and a podium finish. So come on. He's hitting it great. I don't care about the miscut at the Wyndham Championship. Great course fit that we know at 90-1. I'm in. And then Brian Harmon, 100-1. Another great course fit, accurate off the tee. A guy who's better on these shorter courses. You look at his results this year, a lot of poor ones, but when he pops, they're at courses that are pretty similar. You think about RBC Heritage. He played well at the Open too, played well at the Travelers Championship as well. Winner there in San Antonio too. So 100-1 Brian Harmon, a winner this year. Sign me up. And then finally, this was the last minute ad that people have been clamoring for. And I love it. It's Aaron Rai to win the FedEx Cup at 200-1. He is outside the top 50 as it stands. So he needs to get into next week. And next week he'll have to get into the Tour Championship, hence the 200-1 price tag. But as we know, the Tour Championship, 30 men, level playing field at East Lake. Just has to get there. We'll get a 200-1 price tag on the guy.
Sobel, earlier this year, I think it was January, I was at a dinner with some friends and I ended up driving Wyndham Clark's girlfriend home from the dinner. It was just very nice person. No, very nice person. She's wonderful.
Was this the weekend of the U.S.
So
Open?
this was not. This was the weekend of the American Express.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Just for those who want to remember. All right. So Sobel, we know Wyndham Clark is most known this year for destroying lockers at Oakmont and tee boxes at the PGA Championship or signs. You think he's going to win the FedEx Cup now at 190-1?
Well, I don't know if I think he's going to win the FedEx Cup, but this is emblematic of what I like about the new format for the Tour Championship. As we discussed, it's everybody on equal footing, as Patrick just said. Winner after 72 holes at East Lake is going to take the title, and I think that we can basically search the bottom of the board, some big numbers, and just sprinkle around. So Wyndham Clark is outside the top 30 right now. There's actually a few players that I like outside the top 30 right now with big numbers next to their name. Wyndham Clark, Jordan Spieth, Matt Fitzpatrick. Numbers not quite as big, but he's around 41st right now. I was hoping for a bigger number for Xander Schauffele, who's been lights out at East Lake for the last 8 years. He's had the low score or tied the low score through 72 holes 3 separate times. That said, Xander's still like 16-1 in the markets, despite being outside the top 30 right now. I was hoping for like a 30-1 type of number. All that said, I'm going to pick Wyndham Clark of all those players just because he's been running hot over the last month or so, and I think he's kind of playing catch up, and I do think that this one and maybe next week should be good ones for him to be able to move into that top 30, and then he has a nice record at East Lake as well, a couple of, I think a third and an eighth based on the 72-hole scores. So I picked Wyndham Clark, but whomever, whether it's Aaron Rai like Patrick has, I like the idea of going after a big triple-digit number to win the FedEx Cup because I don't think it's such a slam dunk that it's going to be a Scotty or a Rory or one of the big names. So I do like that. And then I'm going way off board to the Boeing Classic out in Pacific Northwest. A year ago on PGA Tour Champions, Robert Carlson was the not 54-hole leader, 36-hole leader because they're only playing 3 rounds, I believe, in this one. But he led going into the final round, blew up on Sunday, lost by 1, but at 100-1, we can go back to the well. Maybe I'm just trying to make up for the money I lost on him a year ago at this one, but I'm going back to it.
You know who does things like that, Sobel? That's me. Sometimes I tried the Max Grazerman theory last week. By the way, he's an honorary member of the Do Not Bet. That guy's toast after what happened in Detroit. Sia, I'm so proud of you with your parlay. We'll get to that in a second, but do you want to talk about another guy that cost me money in Detroit? Speaking of, Chris Kirk.
I still feel your pain from that playoff. A
Horrible.
3-man playoff. You had two of the guys at long numbers, big tickets, and both of them fell short in fantastic fashion. One of the shows giving you going back to the well with Robert Carlson on the Champions Tour at 100 to 1. I ask you that, everybody. Chris Kirk, we've talked about him enough. I like him at 60 to 1 again, in that without the air quotes big four market. I just don't think Chris Kirk can finish a tournament against the likes of Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, but him finishing second or third, I think is very much still in play. I like the 60 to 1 number. All right, here's the parlay. We've got one top 40, one top 30, 3 top 20s, and 1 top 10. What I will say, and this is 54 to 1, this is kind of a shell. You can drop people off, add people in, switch people from a T20 to a T10. For example, if you take this parlay and you switch Victor Hovland from a T20 to a T10, it's 98 to 1 instead of 54 to 1. You can also back up Tommy Fleetwood from top 10 to top 20, and it's going to be 32 to 1. So I'm using this as a shell, but I'd like all of these guys. Kirk top 40. This is a parlay. Rye top 30. Henley, Fitzpatrick, and Hovland top 20. And Tommy Fleetwood top 10 pays almost 55 to 1.
Sia, I will raise your 55 to 1 with almost a 90 to 1. Okay.
Dang.
Henley and Fitzpatrick both have 4 consecutive top 10s. Well, we all know it on early wedge. It's about the trends. So they're going to do it again. So we're going to have those guys in the top 10. Cam Young had a good week last week, you could say. We're going to put him in the top 20 along with Bob McIntyre and, of course, Patrick's favorite, Daniel Berger. So a 5-legger, Henley and Fitzpatrick top 10, Young, McIntyre, and Danny Berger top 20 pays plus 89.53. Sia and I are going to make you money just from those 2 parlays. I hope Tommy Fleetwood doesn't ruin it for you, Sia. Outside of that, it's a great parlay. Got to say, it's a fantastic parlay. Speaking of parlays, I have another one for Live Golf, but we're going to let Sobel start it off because he's taken some chalk at Live Chicago.
Yeah, as usual, I spent hours just diving into the data and looking at all the numbers from Live Golf that they have available. And what I came up with is that Bryson DeChambeau is pretty good. Usually this golf course is like 7,400 yards. So usually this course is going to play to the big boys. Bryson's a big boy, hits the long way. I'll take him. And then you give me Brooks Koepka in a short field where most of the guys have no chance, and I get it. Brooks is not playing well, but he's still Brooks Koepka. He's 60 to 1 in a Live event. Okay, why not? I'll take a shot on Brooks this week.
I actually wrote an article this week for CBS Sports, and I put long shots, and I had Koepka in there. So he's in the open zone, Sobel, which means he is free to be dropped or traded.
He's not getting dropped or traded. Hey, come on.
Is he going to fall on the sword and trade himself off the smash?
Ooh. A self-trade?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so Live.
Is he going to pull a Terry McLaurin and ask for a trade? Sorry, Sia, I couldn't.
How dare you?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Open zone.
In the open zone. If you want, I didn't know what the open zone was, but thank you to Live Golf. They have on their website explanations. All right, so I'm going with some trends here. John Rahm hasn't won in a long time. John Rahm's last win, Sobel, was here at Bolingbrook Golf Club. He's going to do it again, back-to-back years. So we're going to put him in this parlay. DeChambeau, Taylor Gooch, and Patrick Reed all playing pretty well. Some consecutive top 10s for those guys. We're going to throw them in there. And then Sebastian Munoz and David Puig.
Yeah.
Lassie Wood.
Puig has finished in the top 20 every tournament this year. I think Munoz is right up there. I don't know what Patrick's saying, but hey, plus 91.66 sounds good. Puig in your top 20s. Just remember, he's this week's Lottie Wode. Or did I get that right? Lottie Wode?
There you go. Larry Ward.
Lottie Wode, Larry Ward, same. All right, let's move on to OAD. This is going to be a painful one for me because I stink. I keep missing the cut. I have been, fortunately, it's a no-cut event. Patrick, you would be up over 9 million. Sia's been ahead all year. We're never catching him unless, Sia, we go back-to-back. Then we still can't beat you, so it doesn't matter. So congrats, Sia. Sobel, you might have a shot, but I don't. Congrats, Sia, on winning the show championship here. Let's see what you have this week.
I haven't won it yet because I'm telling you, McDonald and Mullinex have 8 million and change. So that's the number.
9 million. 9 million and change.
9 million and change.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sobel can catch me. This one I think I'm going to regret. So first of all, I thought this was going through the Tour Championship. I just wasn't thinking. That's what I didn't realize we only had 2 events left. So I have like a bunch of really good golfers that I'm not going to use. And I was going to use Sam Burns for this week, but because I haven't used Victor Hovland, that's who I'm going with. Because I think if I had to choose between Victor Hovland and Sam Burns, it's close, but I do think it's Victor Hovland that can actually snatch the 3.6 million. So that's who I went with.
Well, Sobel's going to come right at you with, you're going, Tommy, this is the place to use him, Sobel?
I'm not looking to catch Sia. I can't do it this week anyway. I'm just looking to play Heisman and keep you guys at bay. So I want a floor play. Doesn't need to be a ceiling guy, but I just want someone that's going to get me into the 6 figures this week, and Tommy's that guy.
Patrick, I feel like the 3 of you are taunting my do not bet list with Hovland, Fleetwood, and now you have to throw in Patrick Cantlay.
I'm flaunting all the hate that this guy is getting on the interwebs. Patrick Cantlay, that is. People think he shouldn't be on the Ryder Cup team. People think that he stinks. Patrick Cantlay is going to win this week. I'm going to catch Sia hypothetically.
No, he's not. I'm going with Xander Schauffele because I have nobody else left, and Xander needs to do something to secure a spot into East Lake, so I have to use him at some point. We're going to give him a shot. We haven't talked about him. No top 5s all year, which is really stunning. I know he had that injury for the first third of the season, but since then, I think a T8 is his best finish. I wouldn't be surprised if he got in the top 5 this week. All right, Sobel, you are in Memphis. It's time for the recap screen, which also means it is time for Sobel Storytime from TPC Southwind and the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
So years ago, I was working on a story about Eddie Pierce, who was the next great PGA Tour phenom. He was an Arnold Palmer scholar. His first career start on the PGA Tour was at the Sony, where he finished second to Nicklaus, who was only over there because he wanted to pick up some artwork for Barbara. It's a whole story. Anyway, one of my favorite quotes ever was Roger Maltby, who's one of my favorite people ever, telling me that he and Eddie were on the, quote, same cocktail circuit back in the day. I've got a few buddies out here covering the PGA Tour, not as many as it used to be, but a few guys who were sort of on the same cocktail circuit. And when we're at the same event, we like to go out and have a good time. One of those is Ben Everill. Ben is, I believe, texting me right now. He's getting into town very soon. For the last 3 years in Memphis, we have figured out the best thing to do in Memphis is either go to Arkansas or Mississippi and go hit the table. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. We'll either be in one of those 2 states at some point in the next 2 hours and playing cards. And if I sound very sleepy on the radio tomorrow, you will know why.
Yeah.
No, you go first. I think we're going to ask the same question.
Yeah, we're going to ask the same question. What are your card games of choice?
Yeah.
We will play a lot of blackjack tonight. So how could I say this without getting the good folks of Arkansas or Mississippi on red alert here? But Ben used to be a blackjack dealer in Australia. And he's very good at arithmetic. And so Benny will let you know when maybe you should increase your bets a little bit during the course of a shoe. So sometimes it works, sometimes it fails miserably, but at least it's a fun little game to play.
Love it.
Dang.
Wow. So Patrick and I are thinking the same thing. We're like, our eyes and ears are perking up here. We wish you the best of luck. What's your blackjack style? Are you by the book? You're not splitting 10s or kings or anything like that, right? So no, you're
10s. What are we doing here?
I've done that before. And I was told never do that again.
Are you serious?
I did, and I hit, and I won. And I will never do it again. I play by the book. Yeah.
This is not like, yes, you can win anything, but it doesn't mean it was right. No, I'm pretty by the book. There might be like some little things like based on what the number might be, you get a 12 against a 2, and I might take a hit based on conditions that are out there on the table.
Sia, what do you expect of Sobel's table manner? Do you expect him to be calm, or is he that guy that's yelling, playing for everybody at the table?
Nah, he's super calm, super stoic, barely moves, like a poker player. That's how I see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a seasoned poker player.
Yep.
I respect it. Well, I wish you and Ben the best at whatever random casino you end up with tonight. All right, before we go, I want to remind all of you, if you're watching this video, which you are right now, if you're listening, hey, check out our YouTube video. Make sure to follow the SportsLine channel. Make sure to like this video before you click off of it. We always appreciate it. So much great content coming up on the early Edge and early Wedge and everything else on the SportsLine channel this fall. Sia, you had a college football show, and I heard through the grapevine that my buddy Chip Patterson happened to disparage my Arizona Wildcats on this program today. Is that true?
It's not true. Also, please don't watch the show. Real quick question from for Patrick McDonald. Okay, Gotterup and Cantlay are going out in the same pairing, at least for the first 2 days. If Gotterup absolutely steamrolls him and he ends up like T6 and Cantlay is like 41st or like 37th or something, does it change your mind a little bit on Cantlay and maybe Gotterup's in and Cantlay's out? If all things are kind of the same for the next round as well, or the next tournament as well.
Cantlay's 1,000% on the Ryder Cup team.
Okay, fair enough. There's nothing he could or couldn't do this week.
Kill a man between now and
okay,
Bethpage, and he'll be on the team. But Gotterup's also on my team too.
Yeah, me too.
So who do you have?
Patrick mentioned it earlier in the show, but there's some growing sentiment, and I don't know. I don't think this is coming from inside the team room, so to speak, but just watching what's going on. I would not be surprised. 2 weeks ago, I would have thought Keegan Bradley's going to have to name himself to the team. It's going to be really awkward. I don't know if that's as much of a lock as I thought it was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm bummed about. I want Keegan on that team just for all the stories we get and all the noise around it. It'd be great viewing. But I think, unfortunately, if things continue to trend this way, like I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. So the one guy I do have out, though, would be Ben Griffin.
Yeah. I would put Ben Griffin ahead of Gotterup for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
No.
Really? Okay. We will debate this further next week, or you can debate it on the live chat show, Sia. When can everyone hear that?
Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. It'll be me and I think Mike McClure, and actually Josh, our producer, might be stepping in to chat with everybody too. We'll answer any DFS question, any betting question, OAD, whatever you got. We're there to answer it for at least an hour. So you can come into the YouTube channel and put questions in before we even start or during the show. Either way, we'll be there for you.
Ben Griffin or Chris Gotterup, this needs to be discussed during the live chat tomorrow. Guys, another great show. Always appreciate it. 2 more to go after this one. But for Jason Sobel, Patrick McDonald, and Sia Nejad, and producer Matt, who does a great job behind the scenes, I am Eric Cohen. Thanks for listening. And as I always like to say, let's hit it big. Good luck.